Welcome back to Tales from the Shelf. Dead Man by Jim Jarmusch. Now, if you don't know who Jim Jarmusch is, to make a long story short, let's just say he makes the strangest movies you've never seen. Jarmusch has been making movies for decades, but his stuff has always been what I personally call anti-cinema. His movies are often dry, slow, and boring by design. He does not try to give his movies mass appeal. He makes what he wants, and he does not care what the audience thinks or who gets left behind. I haven't seen all of his movies, but what I have seen, I've liked for the most part. But he's definitely not for everyone. You really have to be in the correct headspace to get through his movies, let alone appreciate them, and Dead Man is definitely no exception. Dead Man was Jarmusch's first movie after a 4-year hiatus, and to say it's one of his most divisive is, well, actually very appropriate. Even today, people don't seem to know what to make of this movie. Me personally, I enjoy it, but to say I understand it would be a big, fat lie. The movie is an acid western, and it follows Johnny Depp as a man named William Blake, who arrives in the American West seeking a job, but almost immediately gets caught up in a lover's quarrel and gets shot. The bullet is too close to his heart, and he is essentially a dead man walking. He's rescued by a Native American named Nobody, who believes that Blake is the reincarnation of the real-life poet William Blake, and decides to act as a guide to ease him into death. On the journey, the two compare their pasts and meet a variety of strange and messed up characters, most of whom are hostile, and Blake and Nobody are forced to kill. Most of these incidental characters are played by big-name actors, but almost all of them only appear in just one scene. Crispin Glover, John Hurt, Gabriel Byrne, Lance Henriksen, Robert Mitchum, Iggy Pop, Jared Harris, Billy Bob Thornton, Alfred Molina, and more all fall into this category. It's weird. Similar to most of Jarmusch's works, Dead Man is full of cultural allusions. There are references to actual William Blake poetry baked into the movie. Some characters are named after musicians, which is very common for Jim Jarmusch. And there's also references to movies that served as an inspiration for this one. Seriously, watch anything Jarmusch has made, and you'll find loads of homages to other art thrown about. Throughout the movie, the Native American actors typically speak in Cree and Blackfoot languages, and they remain unsubtitled and untranslated the whole movie. Apparently, a lot of the dialogue consists of inside jokes, and you'll only know what's being said if you speak those languages. The movie's often regarded as being one of the most well-researched films about Native Americans at the time of its release, and has a much more nuanced depiction of Native people and the differences between them and their tribes. Music is always a core aspect to Jarmusch's movies, to the point where most of his work is practically built around the music. Dead Man's soundtrack is an interesting one. The entire soundtrack is Neil Young improvising while watching a nearly complete version of the movie. It's very spontaneous, which is perfect for this movie. Only a few instruments are heard throughout the whole thing, so you really get the sense of the minimalism in the music. This movie freaking polarized people when it came out. Roger Ebert gave it 1.5 stars out of 4 and stated that he had no clue what Jarmusch was trying to get at. But he still seemed to respect the movie all the same, bizarrely enough. As I said earlier, I do like the movie, but it is not something that I can pop in and watch anytime. Which is actually probably what Jarmusch intended when I really stop and think about it. Watching this one for yourself and forming your own opinion is honestly the best advice I have. It's definitely a movie to behold, but man is it a hard one to unpack and analyze. Dead Man is a Jim Jarmusch movie through and through, but whether or not that's a good thing really depends on who you ask.